This right here next to me is a ball machine, and a pretty good one at that. And today I'm going to be running you through all of the ways that you can improve using one of these bad boys. Maybe you like using ball machines, or you just don't have any friends. With that being said, I'm going to be telling you all the ways that you can improve, level up your game, or just feel better on the court using a ball machine. Now, Pongbot has been kind enough to send me their Pongbot Pace S Pro. There are also a couple of cool features with this ball machine that some other ball machines don't have, which really help you accelerate your game and make it more match specific. So let's jump in. Let me show you some of my favorite exercises and show you how I'm using this to level up my game and get myself ready for pro events. Right, so obviously when the ball comes from the ball machine, it can sometimes feel like a little bit awkward or weird because it's not coming from a person. So what I like to start off with is just being at the net, having it kind of feed balls at me, and I'm just working on the volleys, but basically just thinking about the timing, how fast the ball's coming, just getting kind of used to the mechanics of the ball machine before we jump into some actual baseline drills. The great thing with the Pongbot app, people can actually submit drills. So Mark submitted the simple volley drill. I'm going to be doing it. We're going to do training time of 2 minutes. Let's go. So now that we've done the warm-up, I'm going to be telling you about the 3 ways I use the Pongbot. The number 1 is flow, number 2 is specific, and number 3 is match-like. So let me explain. First, we've got flow. Getting in a flow with a ball machine is super easy because it always feeds the ball into the same spot with the same spin, the same tempo, so you can really get in a nice flow and work on your technique, your footwork, and your rhythm on the ball, which can really be helpful, especially if you're not timing the ball that well. So I'm going to create a custom drill where it's going to feed me 5 balls in the same spot, in the same tempo with the same spin, and I'm just going to look to go cross and groove into that cross court, looking for good depth and shape. With the Pongbot app, it's pretty easy to create a custom drill. You just go to custom drill, add new, choose where the ball machine is on the court, and you can adjust the spin where the ball location is. So as you can see, I'm changing the speed. We're going to add a level 5 of top spin. Let's hope that's not too crazy. We're going to put it like just halfway between the service box and the baseline, 6 repetitions. The second shot we're going to do to the backhand just to get 6 repetitions of the groove as well on that side. The aim here in this drill is to just get in the forehand groove, just aiming cross court nice and deep every single time, and looking to just get the consistency between the bounce and the hit to build that rhythm over time. You can do this on the forehand and backhand, potentially even alternating to get that flow between forehand and backhand movement, but it's a really nice one to get the heart rate up, just to get a lot of reps in a controlled environment. There you go, 12 balls. I'll probably repeat that 2 to 3 times to get a nice groove, but it's really good at just working on that specific stuff, and then you can start to try and aim more angle, more deep. Now we're going to go into the specific. So this is creating match scenarios by doing what you want to do in matches. So I want to be aggressive and come to the net, so I'm basically going to create a drill where it feeds me a short ball and then I have a put away volley, essentially a 1-2 pattern where I'm specifically focusing on something I'm going to be doing in a match. So I'm going to basically create a custom drill which feeds me 1 short forehand and a backhand put away volley, and then I'm just going to go and work on it. Okay, so we set up the drill. The one feature I actually like is the ball test feature. So if I click ball test, what it will do is it will send the ball exactly as it's going to come. So I want it a little bit slower, a little bit higher. The second ball test, we're just going to test the volley. Okay, so I want it a little bit lower, faster down. So now that we've tested it, let's run the drill. So one of the most important patterns of play I like to run is attack forehand to their backhand and come across and play the volley. What I'm focusing on here is taking that first ball early and looking to put away that volley with a nice short angle if possible into the service box. And sometimes you've got to try and improvise, which I make look pretty tough. And then what you can do is you can just kind of play around with it to give you the volley a little bit faster, the one a little bit shorter. You can do it on the backhand. Essentially, as you can see, getting reps in the patterns that I want to work on. One little pro tip, working on that little short angle volley, whether it's up here, here, low, super underrated. Also guys, we're trying to get to 50k subscribers on this channel, so if you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helps to support the channel. Now let's get back to the video. Now let's move on to the final section, which actually triangulates your position with a sensor so that you can work on what it's actually like to play or be fed balls as if you're playing someone based on your recovery. So to collect the balls, get the sensor on. So what you get is this fancy little like sensor. Could even put it on my cap. And then what it's going to do is it's going to kind of triangulate my position with these smaller sensors like this. And what it's going to do is essentially I'm going to set up a drill where I recover back to the middle and then it feeds the next ball. So it's almost as if you're in a point, you go forehand cross, you recover back, and then they play the next shot. So it's not kind of you just waiting there aimlessly or you can cheat your recovery. You have to recover back into the set zone, which I really like because it just means you can't cheat the system basically. What I like to do here is I like to go for a bit more volume, almost like I'm in a point. So I'll just go 12 12 balls, super high intensity. And the last ball, I'm gonna go for a winner. 6-7 sets of this. It'll get your heart going and you'll be feeling it, but it's really good. Right, so what I'm talking about is the recovery trigger exercises. And you've got basic forehand, baseline backhand, overhead smash recovery. So let's start with the baseline forehand, so which is gonna create a recovery zone on the court where you would recover on the forehand. We're gonna do 12 balls with that recovery zone. Let's start it. So this recovery trigger exercise on the forehand side is great if you recover quickly. It'll feed you the balls quicker. And obviously if you recover a bit slower, it'll give you a little bit more time. Here I'm just focusing on quality of shot and getting in that routine of recovering back to the forehand recovery position and looking to be aggressive with my forehand side. You can make the drill a little bit more difficult if you have to by making the ball further away from the center, so you have to recover further. Essentially meaning you have to recover back super quickly to get that next ball fed in the match environment, which keeps it super high intensity. When I was getting a little bit more tired, I'd obviously recover a little bit slower, so feed it a little bit slower, which I think is good. Obviously it's not quite like a match because the opponent's not going to slow down based on you, but it's good if you're doing longer sets because the ball machine's not going to lose your tempo and then you have to stop. Let's do a complex version of this, show you what that looks like, but just love that drill. It makes you feel so good, like hitting it so clean as well. Right, and to finish off, we're going to do the combined recovery trigger, so that's forehand and backhand. Again, another good example of how you can kind of practice that match situation. Let's do it alternating, let's do it random, so it could go either to the forehand or the backhand to make sure that I've always got to recover and be ready. So finish strong. Now this final drill was actually one of my favorites. This kind of random setting force the ball machine to either feed kind of through the center to the backhand, and I can take an inside out or inside in forehand, or go out wide. And every time I have to recover back to the center, be ready for the next shot. I didn't know where it was going. It wasn't actually that obvious to see where the ball machine had positioned itself for the next shot, so I could just basically guess. It had pretty good disguise. And so if I'm honest, this is probably the closest you're going to get to actually playing another player on the other side of the net. And it's really good at working on your recovery, your adaptation, your decision making, and all of those things like you would have to do in a match. Oh yeah. So it's a great one of moving side to side, and as you saw, you can kind of adjust the timing of the drill if you're not as fast to recover, or if you're really quick to recover, you can speed up or slow down the tempo basically. Those would be the 3 ways that I'd use this ball machine to actually improve and level up my game. I'd always try and aim for a session of about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Not too much to where you're exhausted, but enough where you're really feeling you're working on things. I want to say a big shout out to Pongbot for sponsoring this video. Pongbot Pace S Pro, there'll be a link in the description if you guys want to go and check it out. I think that the features they have on the app are amazing. Stuff like this, stuff like the custom drills, makes it really easy to customize your training session to actually allow you to improve, and it takes out all the annoyance of the problems that ball machines have where they're feeding too much, they run out of rhythm. The battery life's great. I've tested it in multiple different environments, including very humid Miami, and there have been no problems. So go and check it out with the first link in the description. You can use code Felix for 5% off. I definitely recommend going and checking it out and letting me know how you're improving your game and how you're working on your game using the Pongbot, because I'd love to know some ways which maybe I could be using it better. With that being said, I hope you gained some value from this video. If you did, I'd love it if you could subscribe. Thanks once again to Pongbot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.